You are never getting out of gold. That's right. You've been stuck in gold the last 12 acts. What makes you think that'll change this act or the next? It's not even your fault, really. Valorant stacks the deck against you to make sure you will stay gold forever. Incremental change just isn't good enough to get out of gold hell. In today's video, we're going to talk about why that is. We're going to start out with a thought exercise. Let's put every Valorant player in a line. Although, I don't really want to render millions of people, so we're going to represent the entire base with just 100 of these little guys. You're on here somewhere, and hey look, there's Tens. Tens represents all the pros, all the Radiants, and all the Immortals in just one guy. Down on the other end, we have the worst player to ever touch the game. This is the guy who downloaded the game, went 0-25 times, and never played again. He represents all the Iron Ones. So, okay, let's say you are Plat 2, and your friend is Gold 2. That's not that far apart, right? That's just one major rank. Duo queuing that far apart is common. So, where are you guys in this line? Well, you would be closer to Tens than to your friend. What? How? It doesn't seem like that's possible, but it is. Because Valorant's rank distribution is bell-shaped, there are more players between Plat 3 and Radiant than there are between Gold 2 and Plat 2. Now, obviously, skill doesn't scale linearly based on percentile, but just looking at this line amazes me. Like we said earlier, up on the high end, all Immortal and Radiant players are represented by just a single guy, while Silver and Gold players get 47 people. That's almost half the player base. And this gets us into our first reason that Gold is so difficult. The sheer variety of people you play with and against. Queuing as a Gold 2, you potentially face 46% of the player base. And that's only if everyone is solo queuing. If you end up facing players queued together, this number goes up to 73%. Queuing as a Gold 2, you can get matched against 3/4 of the player base. The result is that the randomness of Gold lobbies is so vast, you'll get a Smurf, an Absolute, Amoeba, and a Thrower all in the same lobby, and then have to do it again the next game. Valorant is what's called a zero-sum game. For everyone that ranks up, there's generally someone else who is ranking down. There's a relatively fixed number of RR that stays in the pool, so if you're going up in RR, you're essentially taking it from someone else. That's just how it works. Alright, let's move on to our next diagram. This diagram displays how likely you are to win a game if you are around your true elo. At the top and bottom, there are a certain number of games that you are going to win and lose basically no matter what. Your performance barely matters. Say the enemy has a Smurf and you have brain-dead idiots for teammates, or the opposite. It happens. If you've won a 4v5 before, it was one of these. The enemy team was literally so bad, you lost a player and still won. The next two categories are games that are stacked against you or your opponents. One team probably shouldn't win, but with some hard work and a few pop-offs or miracles, they could. But this middle category is where you really control the game. These are the games you really fight for. The games where you have a strong impact and your play makes or breaks the game. So right now, these are all arbitrarily sized at 20% each. But how big each category really is depends dramatically on your rank. I truly believe Gold players have this the hardest out of any elo. Like we talked about earlier, the games are just so random that even consistently good performances will end up with a win rate barely above 50%. In lobbies above, like Gold or Plat, it's much less likely to see someone go 2-17. People can have bad games, but there's some baseline level that you can expect from the vast majority of your teammates that was required for them to get to that elo. This just doesn't really exist in lower elos. Down there, you'll frequently see people go 2-17 or 40-10. The variety of individual skill is so much higher. So let's look at yet another graph. In red, we have aim/mechanics, and in blue, we have macro/awareness. Now, don't get pissy about these terms. This chart, and really this whole video, is just a generalization. So over on the left side, from Iron to about Gold, aim completely dominates. Running it down and just trying to hit heads is the norm. Over on the right side, game sense/awareness dominates. Now, the middle isn't really a clear line. There's this zone in the middle where it gets kind of messy, and this is the main barrier for most players trying to break through. I actually think I have a really good litmus test for on which side of the divide you and your lobby is, and that is simply whether or not, without any comms, your team walks or runs by default. On the right side of the line, people know info matters, and people don't want to give it away for free. The term Plat default was really popular a few years ago, and this is kind of alluding to that. Okay, but we need to talk about this bump. What's going on here? Well, there is a certain class of player that has absolutely no brain, but decent to good aim, And they simply can't survive up where info starts to dominate, so they pull down here, right around like gold 2 to 3. This creates a really weird effect, where someone with mid to good aim and great awareness/game sense has 2 local minimums. Down here where aim dominates, they find themselves getting stuck around this no-brain all-aim wall in gold. But over here where awareness is more important, they also have a local minimum. Anecdotally, I know 3 different people who were stuck in elo hell for forever, and despite almost no improvement or change to their gameplay, they randomly got lucky one act and ended up winning the random walk lottery in enough games to get to low plat. And once they were there, they shot up like a rocket to low diamond. All 3 of them are what I would classify as god brain mid-aim players, and if you're watching this right now, sorry guys, or maybe you're welcome, I don't know. This creates a situation where a lot of people who could thrive in plat or even low diamond just get stuck like gold 1 or gold 2. And I'm not trying to cope or glaze gold players with this video. I was there too, guys. I was hard stuck gold until like the mid of 2023. That is the good news though. If you are one of these all brain no aim players that's stuck in gold, there are a few ways to get past this wall and to an area where you might find yourself playing better and improving faster. Next time, instead of taking a pessimistic lens, we're going to take an optimistic lens and talk about how to get out of gold in 2025. Until then, stay Valorant.